Hey, everybody, we're back with the In Between the Lines podcast. I'm Jake, back with Jeff. What's going on, man?
A lot going on. It's a lot going on today in Chicago.
Yeah, yeah, there is, isn't there?
It's not good. Well, I'm happy that they fired the coach. Shane Waldron is out as offensive coordinator. It's really bad if things like this happens in season.
Right.
You know, Caleb Williams was going in the opposite direction. After showing a spurt of looking great, at least heading in that direction. We've seen some good things, and after a 3-game winning streak, considering the teams that we played, that they weren't good. They weren't good teams,
Right.
and 3-game winning streak turn around to a 3-game losing streak, which is never good in any sport, but especially football, because even though we say it's a lot of football left, football is a short season as we know it. So,
Right.
ooh, man, the Bears keep dropping the ball on these coaches. I got people, on Facebook going after me saying it's on the player. But not in this case, I don't believe. I don't think every quarterback that we draft is a bad player. I mean, even though Justin Fields, he went on to Pittsburgh, even though he got benched, Pittsburgh still found a way to win with him. And those are things that the Bears seem they can't do it. They can't do it well at all.
I saw
I
some
don't.
post where somebody had posted that I think they had posted like the comparison of Justin Fields after 7 games compared to Caleb Williams after 7 games, and the stats are almost identical.
Yeah, yeah. So it's not. I really think they should just sell the damn team.
Are they privately owned? Is it like a family that owns them? Did I read?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yep. The McCaskies, Virginia. Um, and I mean, she's old. I mean, I think she's in her 90s,
Damn.
upper 90s too. You know, but yeah, this is not going to change. They don't like hiring strong-minded or alpha coaches like you guys have, or a Jim Harbaugh, even a Bill Belichick. Because they're going to say, "This is what I want. This is what I need," and the Bears is just not going for it.
Do you think Eberflus is going to be gone?
I think so, especially if this losing streak continues.
Well, have you seen the rest of their schedule?
We have the hardest schedule left in the NFL.
Yeah, it's it's
That's been
it's
reported on every network.
it's ugly. I mean, I looked at it and I legitimately said they could lose every single one of those games.
They can,
Yeah.
yeah, unless they win on a fluke, a last second field goal or something. Or, I mean, I don't see them just taking control of any game on that schedule.
Now, do you think there's going to be any significant change with the offensive coordinator gone? I mean, they just promoted the quarterback coach or something like that.
He was in Carolina last year. He contributed to their 2-13 start.
Oh, nice, nice.
Yeah, he
So
was.
I'd also read some stuff. So I'd read I think it was yesterday that I had read that they thought the offensive coordinator was going to get fired, and then there was also some talks that they were talking about benching Caleb Williams and putting that Tyler Badgett in. Have you heard any of those rumblings?
I heard those rumblings as well, but I mean, what is that going to do?
I agree. I think that would be stupid. I mean, to me, I mean, he's your franchise quarterback right now. You at least got to give him the chance. So, like I said, I don't know. He's and I don't know what his personality is quite like yet. I mean, I don't know if a benching would really hurt him, or would he be one of the ones? Oh, I'm going to work and prove that I should be the starter, or will it be he's always thought he's the best and he's been kind of diva-ish as far as I've seen. I don't know if that would like kill his confidence. I don't know.
I think the confidence has already been killed in a sense, really. I mean, he's overthrowing, he's underthrowing. As soon as he hikes the ball, there's defensive linemen, right there in his face. He's trying to throw the ball away. I mean, he's trying. I don't think he's giving up. It just looks like a lot of frustration on the offensive side of the ball, period.
Yeah.
With the receivers, the running back, it's they were never able to develop an identity on the offensive side of the ball. It's just a mess. It's a mess. When we hired Eberflus, I knew it was a bad hire.
Yeah.
I was just like, man, where is this guy? They keep hiring these first time, no experienced coaches.
You said at the beginning of the year that you weren't a fan. Yeah.
No, not at all. Not at all. I'm not a fan. The Shane Waldron guy, he left Seattle for a reason. Did they fire him?
I don't know. I'd never heard of him before yesterday.
Oh, really?
I didn't even know. I didn't even know what their offensive coordinator's name was. I just knew that they were talking about firing him. So I saw today Shane Waldron, offensive coordinator, fired. I was like, oh, okay.
Well, he was supposed to be the savior for Geno Smith over in Seattle.
Okay.
When he started playing well, but when I looked at the stats, he didn't really run the ball over there.
Yeah.
And Chicago is known for running the ball. They try to, discredit or, downplay the running back position, but fact of the matter is you don't win without running the football.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It changes so much. So just the Lions having a decent running the game the last couple of years, I think has made the whole difference in the world. There's just certain times in the games where you have to be able to run the ball. Like I said, I've seen that with the Lions. So I agree. It might has become a lost art somewhat, but it's important.
Very important. And I just don't think that, I don't think it's fair to blame Caleb in this situation. Put most of the blame on him. Are the coaches calling the right plays? Are they calling plays to the quarterback's strength and what he does best? I don't think so. We got DJ Moore. We got Keenan Allen. We got
Adunze.
Yeah, Adunze. Cole Kmet. As I said last week, this team should be able to put up points. Even if we lose, we should put up points. But when you have a rookie quarterback, the primary goal is to develop that quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Not to, I know everybody want to make the playoffs, but that shouldn't be the primary goal. The primary goal should be developing that quarterback, and if playoffs come with that, great. But is the quarterback moving in the right direction?
Well, I think some of the issue is just the NFL in general. I think we've had a couple of rookie quarterbacks come out and have fantastic years, but that's not the norm. You know what I mean? It's not the norm, and so
right.
I think teams are rushing these quarterbacks to start.
Oh, absolutely.
Too early, and they're not getting developed, and I think it's ruining careers. Look at all the young quarterbacks in the last couple of years that just haven't really amounted to anything because they're getting thrown right into the dogs. And the NFL is a different beast than going to college. So, like I said, I thought, when one of the things that drove me crazy about the whole Caleb Williams situation is, as even before they were drafting, they were talking about, generational talent, and he's going to take the Bears right to the Super Bowl and just all these things. And I was like, no, he's not.
Right.
And I
Right.
mean, like I said, CJ Stroud having like a fantastic rookie year, that is not the norm. That's not what happens. Like I said, usually when you look at the best quarterbacks in the league right now, you look at like Patrick Mahomes. Did Patrick Mahomes come out right away as a rookie quarterback and
No, I
do
think he
well?
played the last 2 games of his rookie season or something like that. He didn't. It was very brief on what he
Yeah,
played, but
and even him, he wasn't drafted like number one overall. He wasn't even the second or third quarterback chosen.
no, no.
He wasn't expected to come right in. But like I said, I mean, you look at the Josh Allens and the other quarterbacks in the league that are doing very well. They didn't come right out and start and turn. I mean, they've developed, and so I think the NFL, these teams are doing these rookie quarterbacks a disservice. I mean, I think it's ruining.
Yeah, it's a few that you can count on one hand that has success as a rookie. But a lot of people don't remember this, but Ben Roethlisberger went 15-1 his rookie season. But they relied heavy on the run game.
Well, and I think that's kind of when it started, though, as Ben Roethlisberger went 15-1 as rookie. I do remember that. And then it seemed like after that, it was like, oh, we need our rookie quarterback to come in and have a 15-1 season. And I think that's when it really started happening, because we're like, oh, see, he did it.
Right.
And it's just not the case. And I mean, same thing, like Jaden Daniels is kind of doing it this year. But it's not the norm. It's not the norm. So, like I said, you're definitely going to have more quarterbacks that are going to fail than that. So,
right. They had one of the best running backs in NFL history in Jerome Bettis, and I mean, he was running his butt off.
Yeah.
And they hid the quarterback with that run game and that great offensive line. But today's NFL, they want the points. They want the now.
Yeah.
And it's not working out in the quarterback's favor.
Right.
And I think at one point, I still think they are, they taking college plays and bringing them over to the NFL to help out with these young quarterbacks.
Yeah.
But it's just embarrassing, man. The city of Chicago deserve better than this. I'm serious, man. That type of franchise, that story franchise like that, we deserve better, man.
Yeah. I saw some other really, really bad news for you over the weekend too, though.
What's that?
I saw you didn't get those Wu-Tang dunks.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I was sick, and I worked Friday night, right? So I got off at 6 a.m, get home about 7. I go to sleep. The shoes drop at 10. So even though I had my alarm set to get up, I'm like, man, I can't miss this. I could not sleep. I couldn't sleep.
Yeah.
And I did all of that to say didn't get them.
And then you didn't even get the shirt either, right?
Nah. The shirt was just as... The shirt was harder than the shoes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's too bad. I felt for you. I saw you post. I saw your Facebook post about not getting them. I was like, oh man. We all talked about you showing them on the episode this week.
I still got some things in the works. I'm gonna see if I can still score up here. I may just have to pay just a little bit over the retail price, but
yeah.
I'm going to see if I can get them. It was a bad weekend all the way around the board. I mean, we lost to the worst team in the league record-wise. Michigan lost. And I thought they was going to, somehow pull this. I said, man, if they pull this off, man, it's going to be a major upset.
Yeah, it would have been. I mean, I wasn't super disappointed with it because I expected them to lose. I think we talked about that, and
Hmm.
they're 14 and a half point underdogs, and I mean they they were in that game. I mean, they lost 20-15. They very well could have won that game. The offense is just garbage. The offense is absolutely horrible.
Right.
Um, but I mean, like I said, it wasn't an embarrassing loss. It's just the fact that I
Hmm.
mean, we just keep losing. You said
Well,
Northwestern this week, but Ohio State's not going to be fun.
nah. I think what was disappointing, though, yeah, we both expected them to lose,
Hmm.
but when they were in the game as much as they were and it just made it more disappointing. I'm like, oh man, I was toward in the fourth quarter. I was thinking, I said they're gonna win this game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
I mean, because if you remember how the game started, like I thought they were about to get blown out of the building, and
right.
then they kind of stepped up. They just couldn't make it happen. They just don't have any offensive threats. Um, but yeah, I thought they might win. I thought they might win. Same thing. Fourth quarter, I was like, oh my god, are we going to win this game?
So, do you believe in the coaches at all in Michigan? Let's just say hypothetically they get the Underwood kid. Do you trust them to do the right thing with the talent?
They haven't done anything yet to earn my trust. That's the thing. But I mean, I wasn't disappointed with the Sharon Moore hiring. Like I said, I was fine with him hiring, and like I said, he doesn't have a whole lot of experience, so I still think he's working through some stuff. But I mean, in all fairness, I mean they lost a lot. They lost a lot. He was kind of left with a bad situation, and
Hmm.
then you come right out and also get one of the toughest schedules in all of college football. You don't have a quarterback. I mean, so like I said, I'm not one of the ones that are saying he needs to be fired and you need to fire all these people. I like what he's done so far on the recruiting trail, especially in the last 2 weeks. He's flipped some people. He's got some other people. Like I said, as I told you, my understanding is he's all in on that whole NIL thing, and he's actually developing an NIL program for them. So, like I said, it's to me it's too early. They haven't earned my trust yet, but I don't distrust them if that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. I think with them kind of doing it the first time, even though he coached half the season last
Yeah.
year, you know, he still had that hardball behind him. I don't know if he was talking to him during the halftime games, or I think he still going by Harbaugh's game plan, I should
Oh yeah,
say.
I mean it was still Harbaugh prepping the whole week. I mean it was
Right,
still Harbaugh doing this, Harbaugh doing that, Harbaugh doing that. He just wasn't at the game, so he just had to incorporate what Harbaugh did all week, and he had the players to be able to do that too. Like I said, the players
right,
that he had were fantastic. Now let's not forget either that Harbaugh joined San Diego or Los Angeles Chargers. He took Jesse Minter with him. He took a bunch of coaches with him, and they have one of the best defenses in the NFL right now. I mean, I think they're the only team that hasn't allowed more than 20 something points a game. So, I mean, although Ohio State, and Michigan State fans will want you to say that, oh, they're probably cheating there too, but I mean, there's a reason. I mean, they're good coaches. I mean, those were solid coaches that know what they're doing, and they've taken exactly what they did in college that were successful, and they're doing it in the pros too. Like I said, you can't make up for experience, and like I said, I'm willing to give Sharon Moore the benefit of the doubt, but like I said, he doesn't have any of his own players yet. I mean, it's tough. So like I said, do I trust him? I don't know yet. I don't know yet. You got to earn my trust, but we'll see. We'll see. Like I
yeah.
said, I heard somebody else talking today because I know you sent me that link saying that they believe the offer or the package to Bryce Underwood is actually closer to
Right,
$10 million.
right.
So I was talking to one of my buddies about it, and they were talking about some of the transfer portal people that are coming through, the quarterbacks that will be available, and they were saying, for the top one or two transfer portal guys, you're talking about $1 million. But then, like maybe 3 through 8, you're talking about like 750,000. That's what he was kind of suggesting. Would it be more beneficial to target one of these transfer portal quarterbacks at the 1 million to 750,000, and then instead of spending $10 million in one player, hey, let's spend $10 million and bring in 7, 8, 9 players. And when he said that, I was like, God, I hate saying that whole, generational talent thing because I was just dogging Caleb Williams about that. But it's one of those things, Bryce Underwood, though, seems like that generational talent. So would you really want to pass him up? But I guess if we're not able to flip him, it's not the end of our story. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I think they setting the bar a little too high. I don't think they got to go to that extreme to win a player over. It's a lot of quarterbacks out there, man, that you can win with. What if you spend that kind of money on a college player and he comes here and don't deliver?
Right.
He,
Absolutely.
he might go to Ann Arbor and say, "Man, it's too cold. I don't want to
And
play."
he might just not end up not being a good college player either. I mean, I've seen high recruit quarterbacks that come and end up not being successful in college. Like I said, you've seen it happen.
Yeah. So you rolling the dice whenever when you recruit, when you draft. You just hope not to crap out.
Right? Absolutely.
So and because you're rolling the dice, I don't think it's a smart move on the organization part to spend that kind of money, man. $10 million. You give him that, man. We've seen players get paid, and once they get that bag, they lose all interest.
Yeah, they don't have anything to fight for anymore.
Yeah. So no, I don't think Michigan has to be desperate in this situation. That's a desperate move, in my opinion.
It is. I agree. Like I said, when you sent me that link, I was hoping that it was fake. I was hoping that it wasn't a true situation because, like I said, yeah, I want him. I said I want him. I've seen him. I know he's good, but like I said, you never know what's going to happen, and I do think that sets a bad precedent. So, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, man. So all of my teams suck. Every last one of them. The Bears, the Bulls. I was like, man, which one should I wear? I didn't know what to wear, man. They horrible.
Well,
Ah,
it was almost a bad week, really bad weekend for me too. So Saturday, obviously, Michigan loses. On Sunday, the Pistons lost. Michigan basketball lost a close one to Wake Forest. And then I started watching the Lions on Sunday night. And, at halftime, I almost turned it off. I just thought, they don't have it. Houston came to play. It was late. And I legitimately, like I said, when Jared Goff threw the interception at the end of the halftime, it was the Hail Mary, which I don't generally count that as an interception. I mean, I don't
right.
generally count those, but still, it was like, but that is 3. I told Amy, I was like, I might just turn it off and go to sleep. And quite frankly, if I had to work Monday morning, I probably would have turned it off. But I told myself, well, I've got it off. I'm just going to stay up and watch it. And it was wild when, I don't know if you watched it live or not, but
Yeah.
literally as they were coming out in the second half and Dan Campbell's being interviewed and he makes that statement about, we're making an error here, we're making an error there, but we got to get some turnovers and we're going to get some turnovers. And literally Carlton Davis intercepted the ball right as he said that. I was like, holy shit, this is amazing. But then it was like 2 or 3 plays later, Jared Goff threw another interception. And I was like, oh my God. And I remember thinking kind of at that point, like 4 interceptions. Look, the first 3, like I said, I don't count Hail Marys. The first one was tipped. The second one was actually more of a fumble as he was getting hit. So it was kind of like, but the fourth one was all him. And it's the 4th one. So it's kind of like, I saw some people on social media saying, oh, put it in the hooker. You can't have a quarterback out there doing that. And I was like, I don't know. Well, then we scored again. But then he threw the 5th interception. And then even Amy was like, what in the hell is going on? She wasn't even watching. She was on her phone in the bed next to me, but she heard the interception. She's like, what the hell is going on?
I envy y'all, man.
In my mind, I was like, I don't know if a team has ever won having 5 turnovers. I just don't think it's possible, and we were still down 10 at that time. So for them to have come back like that and still won that game, like you said, it just kind of feels like it might be that season. You know what I mean? When teams that win the Super Bowl seems like they have this type of thing happen during their season.
That takes me back to when the Bears went to the Super Bowl in 06. We had a game similar to that. It was against the Cardinals on a Monday night, and Rex Grossman, that was like his worst game of the season. We started out like 7-0, and that was the game when Denny Green was like, they are who we thought they were, you know, and he went off on that rant, and we was down 20-0 at halftime, and I think we won 23-20. We won that game without scoring one offensive touchdown. Yeah. So it was one of those type of games, you know. Mike Brown scored a touchdown, Peanut Tillman, Urlacher, and then Devin Hester ran back a punt. So yeah, those type of games are, you know, you be so pissed and mad, and then at the same time you get excited. You know, those are some good wins, man. I envy the Lions right now. I absolutely love y'all coach.
Oh, he's something, man. He's special. Like I said, he's just, like I said, he's exactly what he preaches. He's grit. There's no doubt that he is grit. But like I said, he believes in him. But the key is that everybody believes him.
Yeah.
So I mean, if he says we're going to do this, like I said, that was what was so amazing when he said, and we're going to get a turnover, and then they got it, as he was saying. It was just like, this guy's a football god. I mean,
I remember when y'all hired him, and he had that his press conference, and he was like, yeah, we're going to be biting ankles and chewing toenails or whatever he said. I'm like, man, they didn't hire another clown. Yeah. And now I wish we had him. Yeah, I wish we had a coach come in and say, we're going to bite kneecaps and slap you upside the head or do whatever. Bring that intensity to the team.
Yeah. And he's an absolute leader of men. He's a leader of men.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, man. So I wish we had. I don't like that passive. It worked for Tony Dungy. Mm-hmm. You know, kind of quiet and laid back, and Lovie Smith tried to take on that same deal, and I know Tony Dungy was like his mentor or whatever, but Matt Eberflus is from that same tree or that same type of background and run the same defense, and I just believe that your team takes on the personality of the coach, and it's showing.
Yeah. So you think the Bulls suck right now?
Yeah.
I was just wondering what made you decide to wear that shirt.
It went with I wore my Jordan 2s today, the ones you say you didn't like, and this goes perfect with those. So I wanted to wear them, and I pulled out this sweatshirt. I said, this is what I'm going to wear.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, so Quentin, my older son, watched our episode last week, and he was very disappointed in me saying that the 2s are trash because he thinks that they're awesome. So,
my boy, Q.
He's like, what? He was like, what are you even talking about? I'm like, I just think they're trash. He's like, those are sweet, Dad. Those are sweet. And I was like, oh, okay,
Yeah, man.
whatever.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So, have you been paying attention to the NBA games?
Here and there. Like I said, not. I haven't been watching every game like I've been doing football.
Right.
But I'm slowly getting there. I've been paying attention
Yeah,
to the
you'd said
Bulls.
that. You said that you really start paying attention come Christmas time.
Yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah, yeah.
I gotta say, I've watched quite a bit. Has to be one of the weakest rookie classes that I've ever seen in my life.
Really?
Well, for one, I don't even know if I could tell you more than three or four of them. I mean, obviously, I can tell you Bronny James, and he's not even. I mean, there's the only reason he's even being talked about is not because of his
Woo!
play, but so like the ones that are kind of standing out right now are the Dalton Connect guy from the Lakers.
Yep.
He's all right. I mean, he's decent, but he's not like blowing the roof off. But I think they said the favorite right now, if the betting favorite to win the rookie of the year is Zach Edey, the Purdue center from the.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like I said,
That's
if you look at his number, I want to say through 8 games there wasn't a rookie that had scored over 15 points or played more than 25 minutes in a game.
what happened.
I don't know. It's like I said, it's a horrible class. But I mean, since then, in this last week, there's been a couple that have scored something. But like I watched the number one overall pick. I think plays for Atlanta. I can't even pronounce his name.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know who you're talking about.
But I mean,
Yeah.
the Pistons played him the other day. Like I said, wasn't very impressive. The one that everybody was talking about at the beginning of the year, Alex Czar or Star or something like that for what
Right.
Washington Wizards, really hasn't been. I think he's averaging 2 points a game. The Pistons picked up Ron Holland with number five, and like I said, I like him when I watch him play. He's kind of like a gritty player, more of a defender, but like I said, he ain't putting up any numbers. But I mean, I legitimately, I challenge you to find a weaker rookie class in the last 20
Mhm.
years.
And it's still early. I mean, I think I was watching ESPN and they was saying how can the Sixers turn their season around? I'm like, dude, they play six, what, 8, 10 games,
Yeah, I
and they
think
got that.
they're 10 or 11 games in so far, so they're about an eighth of the way through the season.
Yeah, and they already talking about they not gonna make the playoffs. They need to get the season turned around. Now that's a season that's got a lot of you know games left.
Yeah.
That's a lot of basketball. That's
Well,
plenty of time to get on the right track in basketball.
well, I don't even know if Joel Embiid's played a game yet this year. And I mean, Paul George has already been injured for the Sixers. So, like I said, you put those two together, and I mean, you can fill an emergency hospital bed with those two. Like I said, and then their other Tyrese Maxey's is hurt right now. So yeah, Philly's actually one of the worst teams in the NBA right now. But
They'll be fine.
yeah, I mean, like, it was funny. So they said that attendance is down this year, and so they were asking how come. And so Shaq had an interesting take on it. Shaq had said that all the 3 point shooting is made it boring. They said everybody is basically running the same offense. That everybody's running the same plays that the Golden State Warrior did with Steph Curry, and the problem is most players aren't Steph Curry, but all these teams are shooting. I want to say that league average right now is like 37 or 38 3 pointers a game right now.
That's insane.
So that's what I said. There's no offense. Everybody on defense is switching, so it's constant switches. There's no defense being played, and it's just 3 pointers being jacked up at all. So as Shaq kind of said was, they used to have practices where they'd spend an hour and a half of practice figuring out how to stop these plays that these other teams are running. And he said, now nobody's running plays. He said
No.
it's boring to watch, and he thinks the numbers are going to keep going down as long as that happens. And I thought he made some excellent points, to be honest with you.
I remember when Shaq was playing, he said that he was the last true center that you will see in the NBA.
Yeah.
And now it's been a couple of more since him, but I didn't know what he was talking about at the time. I'm like, man, why would he say something like that? But he's seen the transition come in, the European style
Yeah.
of offense, that they was incorporating into the NBA. And he just really caught me off guard with that. And I'm just like, wow. And now that's all you see.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, I thought about it a couple of years ago. I knew the whole landscape had changed when, do you remember Taco Fall?
Yes.
So Taco Fall, 7'6",
What's that?
somewhat
Seven?
athletic,
Yeah.
didn't even get drafted. I mean, 20 years ago, he would have been the number one pick. Now he doesn't even fit into the NBA. And same thing, you look at a player. I'm watching the Michigan State Kansas game right now, and Hunter Dickinson, who was a Michigan guy, he's at Kansas now, but he's a 7-foot old school center. All he does is really he's got a post game.
Man, how many more years is he going to play in college?
Right.
Wasn't he in Michigan for like 3 years? He had to be in Michigan 3.
Yeah, he was there for at least 3, and I think this is his second or third year here. He's like the Jack Tuttle of college basketball players.
Wow.
But the thing is, I mean, he's getting paid there. I remember when he transferred over there, that was one thing. It was like a $3-4 million NIL deal that he'd gotten with Kansas. But
so he's already rich.
Well, if you think about it, I mean, he's not going to get drafted in the NBA because his game doesn't fit the NBA. He's a 7-foot center that can't shoot. So his game doesn't transfit. He doesn't have a 3-point shot, so he can't guard out in the 3-point line. So his game really doesn't fit. But 20 years ago, he would have been a top 5 lottery pick.
I still don't understand why the NBA is doing what. I mean, we used to be excited. I mean, of course, we love Jordan and Iverson, those exciting players like that, Dominique. But it was also exciting to watch Hakeem Olajuwon, Patrick Ewing, Shaq, Alonzo Mourning. It was still fun to watch them guys work down low, man. And
yeah. It's a completely different era. Somebody posted today. They had said the 96-97 Bulls wouldn't even win 50 games in today's game.
I gotta disagree with that.
Yeah, I completely agree with it. You know why?
Oh, man. Why?
Because they're all like 60 years old now.
Okay.
They'd struggle to get 50 wins at 60-year-old.
You're probably right. But if they were young in their prime, I think they'll go 82-0.
Yeah,
and not just the Bulls, teams like the Pistons as well, the Lakers. They play basketball.
Yeah, and I think it depends on what era they're playing in as well. I mean, like I said, I don't know the 96-97 Bulls if they were brought into today's era where you can't touch anybody. I mean, that we're living in the softest era of the NBA for sure.
Yeah. And the Lakers I don't think they're doing all that hot right now either.
No, it's funny.
I hope. I've never really rooted against the Lakers because I like Magic Johnson. Of course, I was a Kobe and Shaq fan. But now that they got LeBron, ever since they've had LeBron over there, I've rooted against the Lakers.
Yeah, same.
Now they got JJ Redick, which I probably hate just as much as I hate LeBron, or more. So I hope they continue to lose. That is a complete joke over there in Hollywood.
Well, I think they're back up. The Pistons beat them the other night. which was fantastic. But I think they
Right.
had dropped that. I think they started the season like 4-0, and then I think they went to where they were 4-4. I think they've won their last couple games, so I think they're back above 500. But yeah, it was funny because after those first three games, I started reading some stuff about what a genius JJ Redick is, and I'm like, get the fuck out of here, because I feel the same way that you do. So then when they started losing a couple games, it was like, especially once Anthony Davis went out, he missed a game and they got stomped. And it was like, no, Anthony Davis is playing MVP basketball right now, and if he's not in there, no, they're a horrible team.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
So
all
they,
LeBron,
you right. They're 6-4 now.
yeah, and all LeBron's do. I mean, all LeBron does is to me is pad his stats. Like I said, I don't think he's out there really trying to play winning basketball. Right now, I think he's trying to separate himself as much as possible with the stats. I think he wants to try to get out there and be top 5 in rebounds, assists, and points, and just say, look at my stats, I'm the greatest ever. That's what I think he's trying to do.
That's exactly what he's trying to do.
Yeah.
I just want to know because you hear these rumors and stuff, and I wonder, is it really true? Like, is it absolutely true that he pays networks or certain analysts to hold his nutsack the way they do?
I believe it. I believe it. I can see that. I
Yeah.
mean, you just think about how he tries to control narratives and things like that. I can absolutely see him. He has a whole PR team. He has his own entertainment company. I mean, I can absolutely see him being into that situation. So
I never seen somebody that wanted to be. I mean, everybody want to be great. That's obvious. Everybody want to be known for their greatness, but to pay somebody to do it, you should just let your game speak for itself. But he knows that his game doesn't speak for itself. I hear all of the chatter about the one-on-one games that he's played in practice. Like, he couldn't beat Dwayne Wade one-on-one. He couldn't beat what's the guy's name?
they said Michael Beasley used to whoop him.
Michael Beasley. That's who I was thinking of. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so and they're not the only two. So now then there was another report like he doesn't want to play anybody one-on-one on bed practice.
Right.
So it just baffles me when people say he could have beat Mike one-on-one, or he would have did this to Mike and Kobe and this and that. I'm like, man, it's a joke, and it's people really falling for the okie doke with this guy, man. LeBron James is a joke.
He just doesn't have that dog in him to me. Like I said, with Michael Jordan, when he started his career, and he was taking whoopings at the beginning of his career. The all-time great Celtics were in that league. Bad boy Pistons were in that time era. And the difference is what he would do. He was getting beat up. He went to the gym, got stronger, and he made himself better. And with LeBron, when things get tough, he goes out and he goes and finds a different team and tries to join superstars. I mean, and he's done that everywhere he's went. I mean, like I said, a young LeBron, was a great player. The LeBron that left Cleveland and went to Miami was a great player. But he left and then joined two superstars to make it easy for him. And quite frankly, if you remember that interview, and he was saying, "Oh, we're going to win 6, 7, 8 championships,"
Right.
They should have. They should have with that team. You know what I mean? And then you know what happens? He didn't win that first year. Then they won the 2, and then they started getting beat again. And then he realized, okay, this isn't that team again. And then so he left and went back to Cleveland. Made it seem like he was going back to save her, but he went there with Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving. And then when he left Cleveland and goes to Lakers, he goes there with Anthony Davis. I mean, he's had all-star caliber players, several all-star caliber players everywhere he's gone to. Like I said, so he leaves and goes and gets players where Michael Jordan created all-star players. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like I said, we can get on this topic. We could spend whole
Yeah.
episodes on it.
You
It
ain't
gets
got no
frustrating for
argument
both of
from
us.
me. There will be no debate or
Yeah.
debating when it comes to LeBron James being compared to Michael Jordan. Not over here on this end.
Well, speaking of all-time greats, there's some big fights coming up this week.
I hope you're not talking about the Mike Tyson fight.
Mike Tyson and Jake Paul, baby.
Oh man, that's an exhibition.
Jake Paul said it's the greatest boxing match ever.
Of course,
ever.
Yeah, of course
Ever.
he said that. Yeah.
What do you think of Jake Paul?
Okay, I guess. I mean,
There's some argument that he's done more for boxing than a lot of people have. If you think about it, he's bringing a lot of attention to the sport.
Okay, he is. I will give him that.
Yeah, like I said, I don't think he's a good boxer. I mean, except when you look who he's fought, everybody that he's fought. I want to say, I read something about it the other day. Like the average age of the person he's boxed is like 38 years old.
And how old is he?
He's 27. But I mean, most of the guys that he's fought have been retired MMA fighters that are well past their career, and not boxers either. Like he fought Nate Robinson, who's not even a fighter.
Is that the one that Jake Paul is the one that knocked Nate Robinson out?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was funny.
It was funny, and I think Snoop Dogg commentated it. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was great. That was so good.
Yeah.
I think Snoop Dogg should just be a commentator.
Oh Lord! Oh jeez!
Yeah. Have you ever seen? Did you see like during the Olympics when him and Kevin Hart would do They would do it every night after the end of the Olympics. They would do Olympic highlights.
Nah, you know what? I think I seen a clip of it. I never seen it.
Oh my God! I watched it every night. It was absolutely hilarious, and not Kevin Hart, Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg was the funny one.
Yeah.
Oh man, there's this one with a horse. There's like some type of horse thing, and he's sitting there talking about the horse crip walking. It's the funniest thing I've ever seen.
I think that, you know what? I think that's the clip that I seen.
Oh my God,
that was the clip. Some of these rappers, man, are the best comedians. I'm telling you. I don't know how they miss they calling, especially Redman. He's another one. I mean, they are hilarious, man.
Oh really?
So
I haven't heard Redman do anything.
Oh, he does comedy during his rap shows.
Really?
Yeah. Sometimes he just stop and tell a few jokes, in between songs, and yeah.
That's crazy. That's interesting. I've never seen one of his shows. I like Redman. I think he's one of the most underrated rappers ever.
Yeah. So if you listen to a couple of his older CDs or albums or whatever, I mean, he's clearly got the funniest skits out of any other rapper.
I'm gonna have to go back and listen.
Oh yeah.
I listened to Wu-Tang Clan all weekend.
No, you didn't.
I did. I told you I was going to. Told you I was going to.
Man, that's what's up, man. Yeah, I was definitely in the Wu spirit, man, trying to get them doggone shoes.
Yeah.
But like I said, I'm not gonna stop. So, speaking of the shoes again, there was a special edition box to go along with the shoes.
With
okay.
Honey and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, you told me about it.
Oh, man. So I seen it again and I'm like, oh my God, man, I wish I could get my hands on that. But I love them, but I can't I can't. If I had 10 grand to spend on anything,
Yeah, yeah, I
it
hear you.
wouldn't be a pair of shoes.
Now, back to the fight though. Are you gonna
Hmm.
watch it? It's on Netflix. It's free.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course.
Yeah,
Of course. I'm off this weekend too.
yeah.
Yeah.
Is
I'm gonna watch it.
so, what are your thoughts on it though? Do you think Tyson's gonna win, or do you think Jake Paul's gonna win? Do you think it's scripted? What do you think?
Yeah. I think it's scripted. I think. I mean, it's not something I would bet on.
Yeah.
I'm pulling for Tyson.
I mean, I want Tyson to knock him out like in 10 seconds is what I want
Yeah.
to see. But
Right.
I just feel like I've seen a couple Jake Paul fights and Logan Paul thing. I think there's something in there. Like I said, I don't think.
Yeah.
And like I said, I went back this past weekend. I watched the Roy Jones Jr. and Mike Tyson fight that took place maybe 7-8 years ago. And when I
And
was
Tyson
watching,
got tired.
well, I also feel like watching that fight, I almost feel like that there was some clause in there too that he wouldn't hit him as hard as he could in the head. Because he seemed like he held up when he was giving shots to the head, but when he was giving shots to the body, he was going full blast. So I almost feel like they had some type of agreement ahead of time. Hey, let's not do this. But like I said, I remember when Logan Paul fought Floyd Mayweather. There's a time specifically in that fight where I think Mayweather hit him with an uppercut, and it dropped him back into the ropes, and it was almost like he's. It almost looked like Floyd Mayweather said to himself, "Oh shit, I wasn't supposed to do that," and kind of like grabbed him, like to kind of hold him to let him recover.
Hmm.
And I kind of think the same thing. I mean, they're making tons of money off these fights, and I'm betting that there's something in there to help build his name. But
Where is this fight taking place at? Do you know?
God, I don't. I could look it up real quick. I just knew it was free on Netflix. Um, but in fairness, though, that's not really the fights I was talking about. I am going to watch that, but there's a big UFC on this week.
UFC.
Yeah. So John
Who is
Jones is
it?
fighting. John Jones is fighting Stipe Miocic. And
Okay.
so that's been a fight that's been in talks for years, but John Jones hasn't really fought a whole lot in the last couple years, but he fought maybe he's always been a light heavyweight. So he fights at 205. And I think it was maybe a year or two ago he'd come back after a couple years and he fought heavyweight for the first time. He fought a guy named Cyril Kane and destroyed him. I mean,
Okay.
absolutely destroyed him. So the talk has been Miocic for a while because Miocic isn't necessarily a huge heavyweight. He's more like that 240, 250 range, where John Jones, is going to come in probably about 230. It's a fight that's been in the talks for a while, but it to me it also kind of feels like when Mayweather fought Pacquiao
Look.
that it's years later. It's years later.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the fight that should happen right now is John Jones should fight like Aspinall, who is a young stud heavyweight, or he should fight that Alex Pereira that I was talking to you about a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
In fairness, Jones did say that once he beats Stipe Miocic, he does want a super fight with that Alex Pereira. So that'll be interesting.
I'm a tune into it.
Yeah,
I keep telling myself that I'm gonna get more into UFC. Because when I do watch it, it is intriguing.
yeah.
It's fun to watch. So I'm gonna tune into it. That's on pay-per-view.
That's on pay per view. Yeah,
It's about what, $80, I'm sure.
it's a lot. It's a lot. I mean, cover your ears, YouTube, but I usually end up watching it live on TikTok. Somebody posts live feeds of it. I usually watch it like
Oh
that. I
wow.
just can't pay that much anymore. And
Yeah.
I have a hard time staying up that late at night anymore too, because The actual main event won't be on until after midnight. But
Oh wow.
yeah, but
Well,
it's the most excited I've been for a fight in a while because John Jones, like I said, I don't know how much you know about UFC, but he's widely considered the greatest of all time.
better than old Chuck Liddell.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Chuck Liddell is usually not considered as one of the greatest. He's considered one of the most impactful because
Okay.
the thing that really changed the UFC and made it kind of mainstream was the Forrest and Stephan Bonner fight, and those two were the coaches. It was Chuck Liddell and Randy Couture were the coaches for that season of The Ultimate Fighter, and then they ended up fighting, and he became
Right.
once the UFC became prime time, he was that first knockout guy. But I mean, no, he's lost like 10 or 11 fights now. I mean, he's
Yeah.
definitely not one of the greatest, but he's a Hall of Famer for sure.
I
But
just remember his name being talked about a lot. What was that? Maybe 15 years ago or
yeah,
something now.
absolutely.
Yeah.
He was a stud. I mean, he had that one punch knockout power, but no, I don't. He's definitely not in the arguments for greatest of all time. Like I said,
Oh, okay.
the
Got it.
ones that are usually considered for greatest of all time, and they don't break them down by weight. They just greatest fighter of all time. But usually it's John Jones, George St. Pierre.
Okay. I've heard that. Yep.
People throw Anderson Silva's name in there. BJ Penn's thrown in there. Fedor Emelianenko's thrown in there. A guy that recently retired a couple years ago, Khabib Nurmagomedov, I think his name is how you pronounce
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Yeah. That sounds familiar. That
He
name
retired
does.
undefeated, but there's a lot of arguments too that he only fought, he only defended his title once or twice, and a lot of the first 15, 20 fights he had were all against cans. So a lot of people kind of take his name out of there, but I usually consider one of those three that I named first, either George St. Pierre, John Jones, or Anderson Silva. And Anderson Silva
Okay.
was probably my favorite.
Okay. And he's done now, right?
He's done. He still does some little
Yeah.
exhibition things. He probably fought too many years after his prime, but when he was in his prime, he was an absolute assassin. Absolute assassin. I got
Okay.
an autographed Anderson Silva poster in my office too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was fun.
Cool.
I liked him, but John Jones is a monster. He's what's different about John Jones though is he's not like a knockout artist. He doesn't knock people out. He smothers them. He's a great wrestler, but he's got good submissions. But he usually takes people down and then starts beating them down from there. I mean, he's knocked people out from being on the ground, but I don't think he's ever one punch knocked out anybody. But he's never been beat.
Oh, okay.
He's never lost. So
Wow.
yeah, he's a stud.
Well, I got a platform I think I'm gonna use to try to watch the fight this weekend. It's called Timbo TV. I'm gonna send you the link.
Okay, yeah, do that because I want to watch this one for sure.
Yeah, it's all you got to do is have, of course, high speed internet, and I think you spend about 20. I think it's $25, and you can literally watch any channel in any city, any
That's,
fight, any movie. Yeah, I'm gonna send it to you.
yeah, that sounds fantastic.
Yeah, man. All
That
right, so
that Mike Tyson fights in Dallas, AT&T
yep,
Stadium.
yep, it is. It
Well,
is. Now that you say that. Uh, how did we do on our picks last week?
so we both went 5-3 last week. Both went 5-3.
Okay.
You you
Oh, that
lost.
Ravens game was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, That's another one that I went to bed, though. I went to bed early and missed the whole ending.
Oh man. Yeah, that was crazy, man.
Yeah, that's what I heard. That's what I heard.
All right, so let me. I was getting them pulled up here. So we both went 5-3, so I didn't gain any ground.
No, but you got closer to 500. You're 29 and 31 now.
Yeah, that was greatly needed. Okay, first game Thursday: Eagles and Commanders.
So I looked at the schedule ahead of time. There's some good games on this week. Starting with that one. That's probably one of the best Thursday night ones in a while. I mean, the Baltimore Cincinnati was a good one, but this is a good one. I'm gonna go Philly on this one.
I am too. I just wrote them down. Bears and Packers.
I'm going Packers.
I know you are, but we don't ever go against our hometown team, right? So I can't, realistically, I don't think the Bears is going to win this game, but, for this, I'm picking the Bears.
I got you. I understand.
Steelers and Ravens.
That's a good one. That is a good one.
Man, the Steelers are 7-2. This is wow.
Mike Tomlin's a great coach. He's a great coach. I'm going to go Pittsburgh at home.
Me too. You know what? You going Pittsburgh? I'm gonna go Ravens.
Okay.
I mean, I'm only gonna say this because it's the Lions, but do we really have to?
We don't have to if you don't want to.
No, man. If it's the Lions, so we gotta pick. I'm taking the Lions.
Yeah, I am too.
Chiefs at Bills.
I got Buffalo.
You picking Buffalo for the upset, huh?
I'm picking Buffalo. I think the Chiefs are due to finally lose one, and I think Buffalo's the best team that they're going to have played all year so far, and it's in Buffalo.
Yep, I'm gonna go Bills as well. I'm gonna pick them to lose their first game. Texans and Cowboys. I think that's a pretty easy one. I'm going Texans.
Yeah, same here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
You know what? Falcons and Broncos. I think that's an interesting game.
That's. I was just gonna say that. I think we should pick that one. I told you last week when we had talked about Denver and Kansas City, and you said it's a no-brainer, and I said I don't think it is a no-brainer. Denver almost pulled that off.
Yeah, and I think I'm gonna pick Broncos.
Okay. Just to switch things up a little bit, I'm going to go Atlanta on this one. But that's a good one. That is a good one.
Okay, so I got Eagles, Bears, Ravens, Lions, Bills, Texans, Broncos.
Yep. Yeah, those are good. It's going to be a good weekend. Those are good games.
Okay. And who does Michigan have this week? We got
Northwest. We should win that game.
Yeah, Michigan
should win that game.
That.
If we lose that one, I change my whole position on Sharon Moore.
It's funny you said that because me and my wife was right when the Bears was getting ready to kick off, and she said, "The Bears better win this one now." I said, "Baby, if we lose this game, we got bigger problems than what I thought."
Yeah, absolutely.
And they got
They kind of got stomped. Yeah, that's the thing. It's
Yeah.
not even they didn't lose a close one. They got stomped. Yeah, that was a bad loss for sure.
Caleb got sacked 9 times. 9.
Yeah, that's a rough
And on
one.
the 9th one, they said number 99 gets sacked number 9. I was like, oh man, this is. I mean, the commentators was having fun with it, man. This might be the first year that I can recall that we're going to actually get swept by the division. I don't think that's ever happened.
Could happen. You're right. It could happen.
That's not good, man. I mean, even last year, as bad as we were, we still split with Detroit. And we should have swept Detroit. We lost the game in Detroit at the end.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, and I was, oh man. And one of my buddies down here, he's a Bears fan, and I'm not trying to be funny with this. I'm being dead serious. I want to beat Green Bay more than anybody else in the division, right? Mm-hmm. That's our biggest rival. And I'm like, dude, he said, nah, man, it'd be more impressive if we beat Detroit. They favored to go to the Super Bowl. I said, I get it, but that's not groundbreaking if we beat Detroit once, if we split with them. I mean, we always split. Right. That's not a. I'm not beating on my chest because we beat the line. I mean, that's just Green Bay kicks our tail year in and year out. We haven't beat them since 2018 or something. I mean,
really?
Trubisky was there. That was the last time we beat them, and even that year we split with them. So no, I'm not. That's not impressive.
Even though I picked Green Bay, I do hope the Bears beat them. I do hope so.
We'll see.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna pop no popcorn and watch it. That's for sure.
Yeah. Oh man.
Oh man. Oh well.
Right.
All right. We got anything else before we close out?
I don't think so. We didn't really pick a top 5 this week, did we?
No, we didn't. So we got to come up with something for next week.
What are you thinking? What have we not done in the NFL?
You know what? I think it'd be fun if we picked our boxing.
Oh, top 5 boxers?
Yeah. Heavyweight.
Heavyweights only?
No, not heavyweights only.
Just boxers in general.
Yeah.
I like it. I can do that. That'll be the plan.
Okay. And that's something else that can, they can go back and forth. I can pick a top 5 and then pick another top 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that'd be fun.
Okay. Yeah, I'm interested. I've got a buddy too that's a big boxing fan. Maybe I can talk him and join the show for a little bit.
Yeah. One of my best friends is deep into boxing too. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, maybe we can invite one of them or both of them and do a little boxing episode after having watched the boxing match this weekend.
Okay.
All right. Well, you want to lead us out?
Yes. As always, continue to check for us on all platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Spotify, YouTube. Check for us, like, comment, subscribe, and as Jake says, share. Again, we're having a lot of fun with this. Hope you guys are enjoying it. That's all I got, man. That's it.
Thanks for watching, guys. We appreciate you. Until next week, guys.
Till next week. Peace and love.
See ya.